Portland business shutting down, 106 employees laid off. You might say, well, John, businesses close down all the time. This one just bought another business out of state. They appear to be moving out of Portland. And that's why we're covering this. This is yet another company that said, Portland's policy, and hey, we got to take this portion of our business and get the heck out of Dodge. Let's read the story. Here we go. Direct Marketing Solutions will close its Portland production facility, lay off 106 employees, according to a worker adjustment notice filed Monday. Direct Marketing Solutions, they mail stuff. It's all that stuff you get in the mail. I don't know about you, but most everything that comes to me in the mail is junk now. I have very, very little that mail-wise makes any sense. So one of my thoughts about this story was, well, maybe this is just a direct mail company that's going under. They can't make a go of it anymore. And I don't think that's the case because, well, we'll continue reading. The company's headquarters, which are also in Portland, will remain open and continue to employ 50 marketing specialists, according to a press release. Making decisions that affect our team members and clients is the most challenging part of leading a business. I'd say the most challenging part is staying in business. I'd say it's profitability. It's not drowning in a sea of taxes and unable to come up with enough revenue to pay payroll. That is the uphill battle that all companies face in West Coast, Best Coast. You got California, you got Oregon, we're talking about today. And you've got Washington State surging from behind with just billions of dollars in new taxes, a millionaire payroll tax, just a plethora of policy that is absolutely going to destroy the business economy in Washington State. And we're watching it in real time. Oh, that's going to work out well because blue leadership doesn't know how to run a business. Period. Economics are something that blue leadership somehow just avoids entirely. The reality that when you don't have enough tax revenue coming in, you need to cut back on your core programs. Instead, they go out and create progressive revenue. After thorough evaluation of operational needs and industry dynamics, operational needs. What does our business need to survive? Well, it's to cut 106 jobs from Portland, Oregon, and we're gonna smooth those around. We're gonna take them to Pennsylvania, I think is where they've got a facility, and in Illinois they've got a facility. They've just bought a company in Illinois. So this is a company that is making strategic moves, operational needs, and industry dynamics. All right, the industry works. Not in Portland, Oregon. Maybe you leave your headquarters there because, we're from Portland, Oregon. And we made the difficult choice to close our Portland production facility. It's where you got all the people. It's where you got all the employees. They're making just junk mail piece after junk mail piece, just direct marketing. Remember when real estate agents used to send you all that stuff in the mail? Yeah, we just don't do that anymore. It's all online. They're committed to clear, respectful communication to our employees, so our employees, clients, and partners can prepare for the transition ahead. Portland closure affects employees at Alderwood Road and Northeast Sumner Street. Okay, so they've got 3 buildings there, 106 people. That's a big operation. That's a lot of junk mail. Direct marketing. DMS focuses on direct mail and marketing. Company also has an office in Freedom, Pennsylvania, and recently acquired Johnson & Quinn in Niles, Illinois. All right, so they are making moves and strategically out of Portland. That's kind of what I have surmised from this. Most of the time you get these details, and half the time when a company closes, it's because they're poorly run. They just didn't have a solid business basis to begin with. There wasn't a market for what they were selling. They were going about it wrong, something along those lines. But this company here, okay, so direct mail marketing, I don't know who effectively uses that, but there's still literally billions of that going on. Go to your mailbox on any given day, right? Oh, hey, here you go. I never respond to that stuff. All my stuff is online that's important to me. Layoffs are effective June 5th, though some will remain on staff through July 31st. Positions cut, well, look at these. Positions cut include 26 mailing operators, 12 bindery operators, 6 bindery catchers, 5 laser operators, many others. The workers are not part of a union. Okay, all right, so we can't blame the union on this one. Don't you love to blame a good union? Yeah. The news comes as, check this out. The news comes as Oregon continues to struggle to attract and retain businesses. CNBC ranked Oregon as one of the worst states for business in July of 2025. I mean, it just doesn't get any worse than this, does it? Oregon is one of the worst states for business, according to new CNBC ranking. You know, when that's the headline and you got businesses moving out and Oregon can't work out what to do with its homeless problem. The mayor of Portland, on, I think it was Monday, just a couple of days ago, he reached out to the adjoining counties. Portland is in Multnomah County. He reached out to Washington County, and I think it was Clackamas County. I might have had one of those wrong. The adjoining counties, and both of them said, he reached out and said, I had like 6 million from you and 4 million from you. And both counties said, nope, that's a Portland problem. We're not giving you any money at all. They both literally said, no, we're not doing that because Portland has so many issues and most of them are based on self-induced policy. Hey, what would happen if we just allowed Antifa to run roughshod over the entire downtown core for the summer of love? What would happen if we allowed Antifa to just have their way with our federal building that houses ICE? What would happen if we just allowed hard drug use to be legalized? What would happen if we just raised our taxes to the point where we are the second highest tax city behind New York City? What would happen if we just allowed homelessness to just explode? Live wherever you want. We don't want to impact your civil liberties. Live just wherever the F you want. Isn't that great? And now Portland's sitting back going, oh, we've got some problems. We've got some structural problems. Portland, one of the worst states for business. City ranked 11th worst state for business in 2025, based on 7 categories. The state's economy, the infrastructure, the workforce, cost of doing business, business friendliness, quality of life, technology, and innovation. Not that long ago, not that many years ago, Portland was a massive, massive destination. Remember we had the show Portlandia? Oh, those days are long gone, aren't they? It shows what happens when you've got a supermajority of progressive Democrats running not only your city, but your county and your state. It does this number. Ooh, and that's going right to the bottom. This year's rating comes just after 1 year after Oregon ranked as the 28th best state for business, and 8 years after it ranked as the 17th best in 2017. Those days are long gone. Long gone. Oregon's slipping competitiveness should alarm policymakers. It's well past time for them to listen to the business community and take serious action. They're not, though. They are not. You know what they're doing? They're just kind of monkeying around with the status quo. And that's why I think so much of this is on purpose. There's no way you can ruin California, ruin Oregon, and ruin Washington State without that being somewhat of a planned operation. There's just no way that randomly we're going to take the entire West Coast and just, let's see what happens when it fails. I mean, stuff we've got going on over in Seattle is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. We've got homelessness exploding as the mayor, her solution to hiding the homeless problem when the FIFA World Cup comes this summer in June is to create 500 tiny homes. Now, if you know anything about the homeless population in Seattle, Most of the people that are in the homeless encampments just having the time of their lives doing Fetty 24/7, they've already got housing. They've got housing somewhere. But they don't want that. They want to be able to do their drugs in the tents. That is so much of the issue. And then the other people that don't have housing, they don't want to accept housing. They say they do. Oh, yeah, I'd take it. And then they're told what the requirements are. I don't want to do that. Can't bring my dog, can't bring my girlfriend, and can't do drugs. Therefore, don't want to go to your shelter housing. That's what's going on. So 500 housing units our mayor is trying to get, Seattle mayor is trying to get. It doesn't really matter. And 500 isn't going to move the needle. It's her effort to have optics that look like she's doing something. Well, she is doing something, but it's not going to be effective. It's just going to be another terrible, that's a straight up socialist idea, right? Housing. It's a housing problem. It's not people doing drugs 24/7. It's a housing problem. We don't have enough affordable housing. Well, if affordable housing was spending money on affordable housing, California wouldn't rank number 1 in the country in unhoused homelessness, would they? People just living outside. Because how many billion have they spent? 24 billion? Something like that? Maybe 30 billion? Who's counting? Who knows? California certainly doesn't know. And, Oregon spends $1.5 billion. They've spent $1.5 billion recently. I think since 2021, they've spent $1.5 billion on the homeless problem. And you know what happened? It's gotten worse. It's just gotten worse. So let's go back to our, CNBC ranked Oregon one of the worst states for business, and LendingTree noted that Oregon has one of the highest rates of failure for businesses within their first year. And we've done podcasts on all these. Take a quick peek. It's no secret Oregon businesses have been struggling. City's ranked one of the worst for business by CNBC. Just hit a 12-year high for business bankruptcies in Oregon because they got super high taxes. And big blue states, they don't encourage business development. They tax it. They send the desire to, create a business and have a business go. They just absolutely tank it by policy, by self-induced policy. Other states are even trying to lure Oregon businesses away. Not that hard to do. Hey, we support business. We've got low taxes, and we want you to come and work here. And we don't have homeless running around, and we don't have whacked out nut jobs that should be in a mental institution chasing each other around with swords. We don't have that. Come and run your business here. That's not a hard pitch, is it? No, that's not a hard pitch at all. That's a no-brainer. That's okay, yeah, all right, let's pack up and go. And that is some of what we are seeing here. We are seeing a long-term business pack up part of its business and say, no can do. Operationally, we are not successful with this portion of our business. Therefore, we will shift this portion of our business elsewhere. Oregon is also one of the states where businesses are most likely to fail, according to a report. And Oregon has the 4th highest rate of failure in the country, with 26.7% of businesses not making it past their first year. It's not a surprise. This is not a shocker because Oregon doesn't support business at all. It used to be, the California dream, and then you had Oregon, which was just like Narnia, right? I mean, it was just, I want to go to Portland. I want to go hang out in Portland. Portland's cool. I want to get a job in a computer industry in Portland, Oregon. And then on the weekends, I can drive up to Seattle and see what's going on there. That used to be a real thing. It used to be a real thing. Now, your downtown core, I mean, we haven't even touched on the drop in commercial values. Portland, Oregon. I mean, all the stories I've done, here on News for Reasonable People. Big Pink, goes for literally pennies on the dollar. Commercial has just been absolutely devastated in Portland, Oregon. And it's because you've got this magic combination that basically drives that doom loop. Now you don't have enough tax revenue coming in to make it go. So there's only one way that leadership can go to cover all of their expenses, all of their commitments, all of their homelessness, all of their, let's support the criminal illegals, all of that nonsense, right? All of that just absolute sheer nonsense that they virtue signal. This is what we do to show that we care about our neighbors. Well, the neighbors that are living in your community aren't generating any tax revenue, and they're costing you money. So you're taxing the heck out of businesses, and businesses leave. Not that hard to figure out. So, when I see all of these politicians from Portland, including the mayor, who just basically got told, yeah, no on the homelessness funding. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. No, we don't trust you. Portland? Give money to Portland? Why? When you've got that kind of environment, it's not a shocker that businesses just, gotta go anywhere else but Portland, Oregon, and maybe Seattle. And maybe anywhere in California, maybe, Chicago, DC. I could go on and on and on, couldn't I? I'm not gonna on this podcast, but I will on others. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.